Can you hear me now? Let's see. Crazy. Let me see if this works. I'll go through the whole thing again. Last night, I was freezing. Well, it ended up that when I went to bed, yeah, there we are. Let me go. Can you hear me now? Let's see. Okay, I still can't see the chat. I don't know where the chat is. Can't see it yet. I saw something with Billy Boy Blue. There's the chat. I gotcha. I know there's no sound. I gotcha. Fixed it. I'll go through the whole thing again. I'll go through the whole thing again. So last night, I was freezing. And it turns out that I went to bed and I was texting with Scooter and someone else, and they're like, "You're freezing." I felt like I was sleeping outside. Okay, that's how cold it was. I was freezing. And in the morning when Jimmy got up, I said, "Where's the thermometer?" He got it. It was 101. You've got feedback? 101.5. And in the morning when Jimmy got up, I don't hear any feedback, but let me know if you hear it. 101.5. And then I stayed in bed until about 1 o'clock today. I was up, but I stayed in bed. I didn't leave the bedroom because if I would get up from bed, I was really like dizzy, very, very weak. When I got up, then I just went downstairs. I didn't even get anything to eat. I sat on the massage chair. Then Jimmy got home. He gave me some crackers, grape juice, and 2 ibuprofen. And then I had some pastina. Hi, Linda Uribe. I had some pastina, and that's all I've had all day. I still have a fever. I don't have COVID. We did a COVID test. I do not have COVID. I'm thinking maybe I have a touch of the flu, but because I got a flu shot, I didn't get it all. I don't know. My throat doesn't hurt. I have a little bit of sinus congestion, but earlier I sneezed a whole bunch of times and it cleared everything out. And then I was like, what the heck? I don't know what's going on. So that's what I've been doing today, resting, just resting. And but I'm a trooper, so I'm here now, and trying to think what else went on. But yeah, so I have a little bit of a fever still, and I'm here now, and that's where we were. So let me see who's here. Hello, Linda. Hello, I see you. You see me. Hello, Linda Uribe. Hello, Jen Proctor. Hello, Twisted Stitches. Hi, I see you. You see me. Hi, Billy Boy Blue. Hi, Gail. Hi, everybody. So yeah, that's what we got so far. So now I have some tea and but that's what I'm doing. Because I'm still feeling like chilled now, but I know it's because of the fever. Okay. So I want to talk about the Idaho Four families all four are suing the University of Washington. So we're going to talk about that right now. Right now we are. Hold on. That's one of the first things we're going to talk about. Let's talk about it. Let's see. Where the heck are you? Oh, I think you're down here. Okay. So, let's take a look at this. So the all four families are suing Washington State University. And there's been mixed reaction to it, okay? There's been a mixed reaction. Now, someone said, I can understand both perspectives here. Washington State University followed the protocol they had in place during the time Bryan Kohberger was a teacher's assistant there. As many others have stated, they also had no way of predicting that their awkward douche of an employee student would go on to commit a quadruple homicide. On the other hand, I believe the families have the right to know all of the information Washington State University has regarding Bryan Kohberger's behavior. I also believe that while no one could have predicted the specific crime, Bryan Kohberger and people like him need to face more immediate consequences. If someone's behavior is severe enough to warrant female students being chaperoned to their cars after class, it should certainly warrant immediate termination of the individual responsible for necessitating said chaperoning. There is really no excuse for a grown man in a PhD program to behave that way he did. He's not a child. He knew better. He did not need 4 months' worth of chances to correct his behavior. Overall, this person said, I don't necessarily fault Washington State University, but I feel that this lawsuit could create space for a bigger conversation regarding the seriousness of hateful, misogynistic behavior in academia. Okay. Someone said, the victims have been WSU students. I think there would maybe be at least the semblance of a case here. But how was WSU supposed to control his behavior with completely unrelated people? This is grasping at straws. Someone else said they're probably going to say the university had some knowledge of Bryan Kohberger's inappropriate criminal behavior prior to the murders. Let's see what else we've got. What else are they saying here? Considering they fired him before he was arrested, they don't have too much to go on here. They saw Bryan Kohberger was an issue and took the appropriate action. If that wasn't the case, perhaps, as bad as you feel for the parents' loss, I'm interested to learn how they plan to approach this lawsuit. Someone said frivolous. Let's see. Ouch. Someone said, good. Remember that one professor that knew him who said Bryan Kohberger seemed like he might murder girls someday? The second that thought popped into his head, WSU should have protected its students from BK, but I don't think she was there. Wasn't she from a university in Pennsylvania? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong remembering that. I don't know. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find this case here now. Zoom authorized. Records. Documents. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to find the pleadings here. That's not what I want, no. I want this, hang on. Hold on, I'm trying to get the... There's a pop-up over here. Come on, get out of here. Oh, come on. Stupid thing. It's not what I want. Hang on a sec. Everything is going so slow. All right, let's go over here. And let's see if we can get this now. All right. Skagit County Superior Court. Forms to do documents, right? See if that works. Case management.
I put the thermometer in the bathroom.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you. Confidential case information. I don't know. I'm not going to waste time looking here for this. Okay. Let me see what else we've got. So yeah, they're suing for damages. I'm not sure how many. Let me see. Here's the breakdown. Let me see here. To pay more than $300,000 in fines and fees, including about $32,000 in restitution, $20,000 in civil damages. Let's see what we got here. See, they said all 4 families, and now in this article it says at least one of the families of the 4 victims. Now when this was the headline, it said all 4 families. So I don't know. So you know what? I don't know if this is all 4 families. It says all 4 families in the headline. But it does not say it in the article. Isn't that weird? Hold on a minute. I know I saw the... Let me see this. That is so weird. That is really weird because they said something about all four families, and I thought, really, all four families? They haven't been united on almost anything, right? What's up with this? Yeah. This lady, okay, so it's all four families. So, but that's not true, according to the article. Well, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, let me go to, let's go back and go to this, so it's not all four. I don't know why they're saying that. Okay, so let's go over here. It's at least one of the families, and it's the Gonsalves family. Okay, so this. Oh my gosh, no. Then down here it says the families of all four University of Idaho murder victims sued on Wednesday. The university attended. Okay, so it is all four. Come on now. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. It literally, in the same publication, the Idaho Statesman has two different things. Okay. It says the family of all four University of Idaho murder victims sued on Wednesday the university attended by Bryan Kohberger, who killed their loved ones, alleging gross negligence, wrongful death, and violations of federal education protections. Led by Steve Gonsalves, the father of Kaylee Gonsalves, who pledged last year to file a lawsuit against Washington State University, parents for each of the four Moscow college students are also named plaintiffs in the civil case. Okay. At least we got that through. Plaintiffs seek to hold WSU liable for its own decisions and actions, to remain idle in the face of known extreme and repeated instances of discrimination, sexual harassment, and stalking by Kohberger occurring in its educational program. A 126-page complaint from Skagit County Superior Court in Washington. Okay, so we'll see what happens there, right? We'll see what happens there. Hold on a sec. I have to blow my nose. Sorry, I had to blow my nose and I didn't want to do it into the microphone. So hopefully you can still hear me. We're going to go to, and now I'm going back to the chat. Hang on. If I can find the freaking chat. This is so dumb, so dumb. Hang on a minute, guys. I'm really trying to find the chat here. Make sure you can hear me. Okay, there we go. Hi, High Speed Drifter. How are you? How's it going? Hi, Slam. How are you? Hi, Megan. How are you? How's it going? Let's see. What did you ask a question there? Ah, shoot. I can't move the chat. What is going on? Okay. Good night, Slam. You going to bed? Good night. Why is Linda saying good night to Slam? Slam's saying hi. Right? Am I losing it? Linda, Slam is saying hi. High Speed Drifter. Oh, saying hi before I go to bed. Oh, I see it now. I see it now. Denali, hello there. How are you? And hi, High Speed. Did you ever figure out? I know the last time you were here, you were asking me about the membership, High Speed. If you want to do the membership, all you have to do is put an exclamation point and put membership, and it'll give you the link to click on. Was it in childhood? Does anyone know when Kohberger started to display antisocial behaviors? No, I don't know. Well, I think he was bullied all of his life, and probably, when he was a child, I would say. Okay, let's see what else we have now. So, since we're kind of left this up in the air, I knew I wanted to talk about the Kohberger lawsuit, but I also want to see what else is going on. So we'll see that. Wow, what is with the internet tonight? The hamsters are not. Okay, they're saying that Nick Reiner's siblings detail the justice they're seeking. I don't believe that's going to be too much, because they just said yesterday they have their faith in the justice system, and that's all they're going to say. But let's see. They said... excuse me, they hope their seriously ill brother is spared from the death penalty as he stands trial for the murder of their parents. Romy and Jake Reiner believe their brother Nick's alleged stabbing of their parents was the result of a devastating mental collapse as a family friend said the last thing the family wants is another killing. Rob and Michelle's family, despite everything, do not want Nick to get the death penalty, as they insist this horrific incident was the byproduct of a mental health crisis. The last thing they want is another killing in the face of this unbelievable tragedy, and that the death penalty would only bring more pain. Let's see what else. It won't bring back Rob and Michelle. Romy and Jake were absent from their brother Nick's brief court appearance on Tuesday, but the source said they'd support their disturbed sibling if he were to plead not guilty by reason of insanity at his arraignment February 23rd. Let's see. He was reportedly diagnosed with schizophrenia just weeks before the stabbings and was under close psychiatric care. His meds were altered prior to the December 14th murders, which the family believes triggered increasingly concerning behavior. Nick Reiner has a well-documented history of substance and mental health issues and multiple rehabs stints since the age of 15. So we'll see. That's the most that they've said there. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Dodger star Alex says everything goes back to late daughter. What? Who's that? Who's that? Dodger star Alex Vasia's wife said everything goes back to late daughter. Kayla Vasia's first workout about the death of her newborn daughter brought out a spectrum of emotions. It is the first hot class back, she said, who's married to Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Alex Vasia. Oh, she lost. I read something about that. She lost her baby, so. New York City hospital on lockdown after an unhinged man shot by cops in a disturbing incident. What was that about? Let's see. What hospital is it? Let me see. Methodist. A bloodied, unhinged man, armed with a sharp object, was shot by cops inside Brooklyn Methodist Hospital on Thursday in a scary altercation that plunged, let me get a picture up here, the medical center. Hold on a second. Where did that go? Where did that go? There we go. Into lockdown. Police responded to the hospital at 5:40 p.m. after receiving a 911 call about a man who barricaded himself in a hospital room with an elderly patient. He was wielding a sharp object and using it to cut himself. He left the room covered in blood. 2 officers deployed their tasers at him after an altercation, but it failed to stop the man. 2 other officers then discharged their guns, and shots were fired, striking him. The man, who has not yet been identified, is in critical condition and is being treated at the same hospital. 4 officers are also being treated for tinnitus. Is that the ringing in the ears? Helicopters and emergency vehicles were spotted swarming the hospital in Park Slope. The emergency room is currently on lockdown, and family members of patients have been told to leave. One woman whose son is in the emergency room at Methodist told the Post. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I thought I heard I just heard somebody about somebody choking and somebody doing the Heimlich and saving somebody, but I guess not in this case. Oh my gosh. It says that a dad choked to death at a Disney restaurant while the waitstaff watched. Employees at one of the most popular restaurants on Walt Disney World's resort property in Florida watched as a father of 3 choked on a piece of steak. And instead of immediately calling 911, they contacted security, causing a critical delay that led to the dad's death, according to a lawsuit. Kevin Duncan, 42, of Ocala, was in Orlando attending a dance competition for his daughter when the choking incident occurred in front of her and the dance team at the Boathouse restaurant in Disney Springs on June 7, 2025. The beloved dance dad, as his daughter's group called him in a Facebook tribute post last year, was eating and loved ones and friends at the restaurant when things went terribly wrong. While consuming a steak entree, Duncan began choking on a piece of steak and experienced a blockage of his airway. Family and friends attempted the Heimlich maneuver and other measures to dislodge the obstruction. The Boathouse restaurant staff did not promptly call 911. Instead, staff initially contacted security, causing a delay in summoning emergency medical services. Lawyers for Duncan's family say that as a result of the choking event and delay in obtaining appropriate emergency medical assistance, he suffered severe hypoxia and cardiopulmonary arrest, which led to him being placed on a ventilator on June 8th, 2025, and his death on June 9th, 2025. Duncan had been enjoying a day at the Magic Kingdom with his daughter just one day earlier, celebrating all of our hard work this regional season with the best team. Wow. In their legal complaint and court filings, lawyers for Duncan's family say the employees saw Duncan experiencing difficulty breathing or choking during the incident, including an on-duty manager who became aware that Duncan was in medical distress before 911 was called. They allege that more than 2 minutes elapsed and no employee of the restaurant placed that first 911 call. The complaint accuses Boathouse management of directing staff to contact security first rather than immediately contacting emergency medical services, causing that critical delay. Let's see. A 2022 Delish article about the Boathouse describes it as one of the most popular restaurants at the Disney Springs entertainment zone at Walt Disney World. The restaurant opened in 2015. and has had lines forming down the sidewalk ever since. Wow. That's not good. What is this now? Police rushed to a major U.S. airport after a Boeing 767 suffered a dramatic landing failure on Tuesday. A LATAM Airlines flight had completed a 7-hour journey from Lima, Peru, when every one of its 8 landing tires burst simultaneously upon touching down in Atlanta. Wow. That's crazy. They still haven't found out about that dentist. And you know what? Nothing about that girl on that cruise line, right? Or that doctor in Arkansas who probably killed his wife and twin kids. Okay. What else do we have? Bitten clawed at Metro Atlanta daycare. Wow. Okay, hang on a minute. Let's see what have we got here. Oksana Bayul. We talked about her yesterday. Celebrity chef and TV star L. Simone Scott dies at 49. Not sure who that is. Harvey Weinstein says he's haunted by the thought of dying in jail as he considers a plea deal. Harvey Weinstein. Isn't he represented by, what's his name? The guy that just stepped down? I thought he was. Let's see. Harvey Weinstein's lawyer told a Manhattan judge on Thursday that his client would consider a plea deal in relation to his R charge if the court was to offer something that would run concurrent to the sentence he's serving now. Weinstein, who's awaiting a new trial after his 2020 conviction, was overturned, has been serving time at New York's Rikers Island since April 2024. Speaking directly to Judge Curtis Farber ahead of the trial's March 3rd start date, Weinstein described his day at Rikers Island as a march to my death. He says he's haunted by the thought that I will die here, unseen and unheard. At the conclusion of a retrial in June, a jury found Weinstein guilty of one of the 3 charges against him, a count of criminal S-act. The same jury found him not guilty of another like-titled charge, but could not reach a verdict on the 3rd charge of R. The failure has led Weinstein to face a 3rd trial for the same charge, a Class E felony charge of R, which carries a maximum prison sentence of 4 years in New York. I know I was unfaithful. I know I acted wrongly, but I never assaulted anyone, Your Honor. I'm begging for a second chance. We're going to go to trial for a 3rd time on an E as in elephant felony. Arthur Adala, Weinstein's lawyer, said. If his name was not Harvey Weinstein, this case would be disposed of. In August, his lawyer told the court that the disgraced film mogul would not entertain a plea deal as he didn't want the word R associated with him. Thursday's proceedings were an about-face, as his lawyer hypothesized about a scenario in which Weinstein would be acceptable to. His lawyer told the judge, after speaking with his client and prosecutors, that Weinstein wants additional time to think about the plea. Additionally, on Thursday, Weinstein's lawyer asked Judge Farber to vacate the one criminal S-act conviction from June, alleging a juror had claimed they felt bullied into a guilty verdict. The judge denied that request. Weinstein, 73, still faces a 16-year sentence in California. Oh my gosh, Judge Judy got divorced. Judge Judy from Jerry Scheinlund. Did you guys know that? The queen of the court got served her own divorce papers. Wow. For a shockingly tragic reason, and she recently opened up about how it all went down. That's crazy. What happened? Let's see. She's kept her personal life private. She got vulnerable on a podcast. She talked about her whirlwind divorce from Jerry Scheinlund. They were married in 1977 and worked together over 10 years before things got rocky. In 1990, they decided it was time to move on and file for divorce. It's a long story, but the end of the story is, hang on a minute. Let's put an ad up, hang on. It's put an ad up on the screen. I have to wait to finish this. They have children? I don't know. Did they have children? They got married in 1977. They worked for 10 years together. That's 87. Okay, let's see. Come on, let's get on with your bad self here and finish this. Wow, what an ad. All right, so, no, probably. Check, they actually look alike. Anyway, they worked together for 10 years. In 1990, they decided it was time to move on and file for divorce. That's a long story, but at the end of the story is I found that Chris and most men were alike. She didn't explain the exact troubles, but they insinuated that they didn't see eye to eye. Their needs were different than that of a woman, and if you feed them and love them a little bit and they don't get it, there's way too much. What the heck, women are not. As it turns out, 1990 was a tough year for Judge Judy. She was also dealing with the loss of her father, which is what apparently, oh, hold on a minute, so led up to the divorce. As Jerry revealed in the book, hold on. He wasn't giving Judy the support she needed. After her father's passing, she gave him an ultimatum. She said, "I'm going to divorce you." He said, "Oh yeah, I dare you." In the end, it was Jerry who cut ties and gave her the divorce papers that would mark the end of her second marriage. But unlike her previous divorce, oh my gosh, I can't read this. They're back together, right again? Is that what's going on? This thing wants me to keep sitting through this crap. I'm not doing it. Sounds like clickbait, and I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Looks like they're in a book about marriages, so seems to me they're together. All right, let's see. What else? Oh my gosh, a rock thrown at a school bus on New Jersey Turnpike. Child seriously injured. I hope they're okay. Terrible. Let's see. Snowball ambush leaves driver dead after he's beaten while trying to stop an attack on his car. CNBC executive Andy Friendly dies months after his wife, Patricia Crowley. Urgent cheese recall. 2 people suffer broken ankles on a British Airways flight. Wow, okay. Jesse Nelson. Who's Jesse Nelson? Oh, they have SMA, both of them. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. What the heck, were they identical? They had to have been identical, right? Yeah, that's a terrible thing. I know of a girl that's daughter had that. It's terrible. Actually, more than one. One little boy did. Another one whose little girl did. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? Stranger Things. Don't watch that. Former high school football star dies of cardiac arrest at 30, just 4 years after his brother died. It's terrible. Two people were shot by Border Patrol agents in Portland during a targeted vehicle stop. Eight 8,000 workers are affected as Wendy's is shutting down. Wait, they're shutting down completely? No. No, they're not. Wendy's has long positioned itself as a dependable option for value-minded diners, but the chain is now confronting one of the most challenging periods. Headlines pointing to a $300 million revenue loss and thousands of affected workers have sparked confusion and concerns. Wendy's is not shutting down nationwide, but it is preparing to close hundreds of underperforming U.S. locations. Oh, wow. Where are they closing? I wonder where they're closing. Probably, hope it's not the one by... me, I hope not. Okay, let's see what else. Let me go over here. I'm starting to feel feverish. I'm going to come back to the chat in a moment. Here, let me get this off here. All right. Let's see what we got here. Inside Nick Reiner's life in jail. Just in case you want to know about that, right? Let's see. Solitary. All right, so Robin Michelle Reiner's son, Nick, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Okay, and behind the concrete walls of Twin Towers Correctional Facility in downtown Los Angeles, that's where he's being housed. Hold on a minute. Nick Reiner's world is confined to a 7 by 10 foot cell. Since entering jail on December 15th, he has been housed inside Tower 2's high observation mental health unit. There, he remains alone in his cell at all times. He served 3 meals a day in confinement. The inmates where he's located have significant mental health illnesses. They need to be kept alone and away from any other people or inmates. Doctors and mental health professionals determine Nick has a mental disability. At the facility, breakfast is served at 6 a.m., lunch around 10:30 or 11, and dinner around 5. Breakfast and lunch are usually cold foods, while dinner is typically hot. He has about an hour to eat, and then a deputy sheriff collects his tray. Nick had a break in his typical routine on Wednesday, January 7th, the date of his highly anticipated arraignment, around 6 a.m., a few hours after receiving clearance from the jail clerk to attend the hearing. Nick showered and changed into a prison-issued brown jumpsuit. 2 hours later, he was transported by authorities in a marked vehicle to the Clara Shortridge Falls Criminal Justice Center in Los Angeles for his hearing. Following the dramatic courtroom appearance at which he entered no plea, and his high-profile defense attorney Alan Jackson stepped down, at 5 p.m. that night, he ate dinner alone, as he has daily since his arrest, beneath fluorescent lights, dressed in bright blue, bright yellow short sleeves jail shirt and dark blue pants. The pants are blue, shirt's yellow. While Nick is no longer on suicide watch, the jail has removed his suicide prevention smock or his turtle suit, right? Okay. He is evaluated each week by medical professionals like psychiatrists on staff, but he did not see one after court. The sheriff's source says that Nick, who wore his hair in a buzz cut at his January 7th arraignment, had his hair cut at his own request. A medical professional performed the haircut in Nick's cell sometime between his initial court appearance, December 17th, and January 7th. His next court appearance is set for February 23rd, when an LA County Superior Court judge rescheduled his arraignment following the resignation of Nick's attorney, Alan Jackson, and the appointing of Kimberly Green of the Los Angeles County Public Defender's Office, who will now handle Nick's case. After conferring with the judge in her chambers, Jackson said in the courtroom that we feel we have no choice but to withdraw from the case. In a news conference after the hearing, he added that he had been forced to do so because of circumstances beyond his control. Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder, he said. Print that. But be clear, be very, very clear about this. My team and I remain deeply, deeply committed to Nick Briner and to his best interests. In fact, we know, we're not just convinced, we know that the legal process will reveal the true facts of the circumstances surrounding this case. Meanwhile, LA District Attorney Nathan Hochman said that what did he say? He said they have briefly spoken with. What did they say? Hold on. Oh, here it goes. Initially announced the charges, he said the case would be particularly difficult to prosecute because of the intimacy between the victims and the accused. Prosecuting these cases involving family members are some of the most challenging and heart-wrenching cases that this office faces because of the intimate and often brutal nature of the crimes. Okay, let me find you guys. I'm trying to find where you guys are. Are you here? Are you there? Are you here? Are you here? Are you there? Who says that? Somebody. Are you there? Nope. Okay, there you are. They have 5 kids. Who has 5 kids? Who has 5 kids? Judge Judy? Is that what you're saying? You're behind, Twisted. You're way behind, if that's Judge Judy. Let me see. They were divorced in 1990. They remarried and are still married now. Okay. They have 5 kids. They have 5 kids. 5 kids. Wow. 5 kids. Okay. And they were divorced in 1990. But they got remarried. Alrighty. And Linda's talking about a spoiled rich kid and drugs. So I think she's talking about Reiner, isn't she? I think so. So 51 people, let's hit the likes. Hit those likes. I can't see how many likes we have, but hit them. And what else? Seen a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time. I think the shorts are bringing them in. A lot of people were having a lot of positive feedback on that. And a lot of people that we haven't seen in a while coming back in. Very good. Very good. And what else? Hey, High Speed Drifter, you got your membership. Yay! Welcome back, High Speed Drifter. Beautiful. The Mormon dentist, he was convicted. I'm not going to stay up too late tonight, Linda Uribe. I won't. I won't. And welcome back, High Speed Drifter. We appreciate your membership very much. Yay! Back to reality. Very good. So what else is going on? F54. What else is there to talk about? Oh, Uvalde. I knew there was something else. So Uvalde was back on trial today, the case of Adrian Gonzalez. And you heard more, 77 minutes before anybody engaged the shooter. You heard a lot of really, really tough stuff to listen to. And though it's like, I don't know, they've got Arredondo and Adrian Gonzalez, but what about the other people. And then they said about the border, 57, the Border Patrol agents, about compelling their testimony and stuff. So, yeah, but I mean, I was watching while I was taking it easy today, 58. I was, hi, Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you for saying you hope I feel better. Yeah, I think I'm feeling better. They were talking about the kids that died. They were talking about these kids that were clutching scissors in a closet. They were talking about the kids who were survivors who had spoken. You know, I was watching a lot of that. Very, very, very tough stuff to watch. But will they, convict him? I don't know. Like we spoke, the Parkland officer was acquitted. So I don't know. He was trained to do this. A lot of people are like, if you listen in the chats, are like, oh, I don't know if I would go engaging some, but you're not trained to do this, right? You can't compare the officer to how you would react as a mother, as a grandmother, as a, whatever, because I don't know. So yeah, Uvalde, that'll be going on tomorrow. And what else? Trying to think. There was another trial that was on. I think a hearing about that Mormon woman that tried to. Hi, Amy's Justice League. How are you? How are you doing? The Mormon woman, the Moscow Mule, I think she might have had some kind of a hearing. But I don't want to stay up too late. I want to get some rest and so that I feel better for tomorrow's Friday already. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How is it Friday already? Ouch. How is it Friday already? So, Amy, what's going on with you? I'm going to just see about that Moscow Mule lady. Ouch. She's Mormon too. Corey Richens. See what's going on with her. She was laughing, I think, in court. I saw something about her laughing. But I'm not seeing anything. 16 hours ago, live hearing. Okay, she had a live hearing. But where's the, hold on, something. Oh boy, let's see. Ouch. It says Corey Richens. Her goose may be cooked despite battles and evidence hearing. What do you got there for us? Battles and evidence hearings that the alleged murderer turned author would get off scot-free. What? She's not going to get off scot-free. Come on. What are they talking about? Hold on a minute. What happened at her hearing? The judge limits expert testimony. The judge is limiting expert testimony. The Utah judge issued several key evidentiary rulings in the murder case against Corey Richins, limiting how prosecutors may use expert testimony at trial and ordering future evidentiary hearings closed to the public. Richins faces a number of charges, including murder of the death of her husband, Eric Richins, who was killed in 2022 by a lethal dose of fentanyl, which prosecutors allege that Corey poured into his drink to kill him and cash in on his life insurance. The hearing focused on defense motions to exclude multiple expert witnesses under Utah Rule of Evidence 702, which governs the admissibility of expert testimony. Judge Richard Mrazek said that behavioral threat assessment expert Molly Amon may not testify during the prosecution's case in chief and may not be used to suggest Richins' guilt. However, the judge said Amon could testify in rebuttal if the defense presents a broad or categorical explanation of how violent crimes occur. Okay. Come on. So this is what domestic violence expert was blocked for now. Closed hearing ordered for day 2. Wow. What's all that about? What is all that about? When is her trial supposed to start? Let's see. Let's see when her trial's supposed to start. When is... Hold on a minute. Sorry. When is Corey Richins' trial supposed to start? When is Corey Richins' trial supposed to start? Start. When is Corey Richins' trial supposed to start? Let's see. Oh, wow. February 10th. Opening statements. That's jury selection. Opening statements, February 23rd. So that's the first one, I think, of that we're waiting for, right? Because then we're waiting for the ones, they're like in August for Brightigan. Okay, I wonder how long that's supposed to last. Okay, so we'll, wow, okay. We got to keep ahead of that one. That's pretty important there. Pretty important, right? Okay, now, we're going to do word cookies because I have to go to bed. I have a headache. And a headache. Poor me. Still out here working, right? Okay. Giving it the good college try. Now where's your... Can't find the chat. I can't find the chat. Where'd you guys go on me? It's gotta be here. No. I can't find you guys. Where's my live chat? This one has no chat. Come on, peeps. Where are you guys? I can't find you. I'm looking. There's no fairies. Hold on. I'm going to try to open a new one. I'm getting cold again. Come on. Oh, this one doesn't have my chat. Get out of here. Now there it does. Over there. Good night, Linda. 5 years since your son died tonight. I'm sorry to hear that, Amy. Is that tonight's the anniversary of that? Hugs, hugs, hugs. Hugs and prayers, Amy. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. Hi, Pet Nanny Nancy. How are you? Oh, boy. Now I'm starting to feel like crap. Sometimes at night you get worse, right? My head hurts. I'm going to take 2 ibuprofen before I go to bed. Oh boy, what do we have here? Good night, Linda. Good night, Linda. Good night, good night, good night. Where's all my friends? Where's all my friends? Enjoy. Hi, Jen girl. Hi. Starting to feel really not good. Okay. Yeah, I was feeling a little better. Now my head is starting to hurt again, and I feel like I'm getting feverish more than before. I've got to take 2 ibuprofen really, really fast before it gets really, really bad. I don't know what I have. Nobody else is sick. Nobody. Hold on a minute. Let me get... oh my gosh. Let me get my ibuprofen. Oh my gosh. Oh. Starting to shiver. Like a little girl shivering. I'm starting to shiver. See, that's not good. That's not good. Okay. Like a cracker. I don't want to take that on an empty stomach. Okay. Irony. One more. One more. Thanks, Pet Nanny. Thank you. Could this be? Rejoin. Rejoin. There we go. Well, it's really nice. There's still 51 people watching the word game. Very good. Very good. Seen a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time come back. Oh, this is going to be wet. What would that be? Wattage. Oh, it goes to a special level. Look at that. And we haven't had that in a long time. Special level. Oh my gosh, it won't do this. Okay. And let's see. In between E and the A has to have an M in it. E and the G, I mean. Okay. Lorenzo, yeah, Lorenzo. Lorenzo went home yesterday. I know. I miss him. What is that one there? That doesn't make any sense. Jim. And what is this one? Down here with every letter. Wage. Matt wage. Wattage with an M. Look at that. Watt Madge. Matt wage. What is that going to be? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Mattage. Huh. Team. Tag team. I don't know. What is that? Who knows here? Anybody? Anybody, anywhere? It's a hard one, right? It's a hard one, Mr. Greens. Meet. Wait, gate. Gate. No. Tame. What do we have if we do tame? Tame. No. Team. T. Oh boy, we have to ask for help. Megawatt. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The sky is beautiful. That's very nice for you, Amy. Hopefully, maybe you'll see a shooting star or something like that, right? That'd be nice. It's cold here and I'm feverish. But, hi Gail. I'm going to go to bed now, guys. Hoping that I'll feel better in the morning. I don't usually get sick, but I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good. You guys probably can't even remember when I've been sick, except when I had COVID, right? And even then, I was still on every night. Okay, I will see you guys later. Good night, everybody. Love you. God bless. Let's see how I got us out of here. How do I get Jane to stop this crazy thing? Jane, stop this crazy. Come on. Jane. There we go. Jane, Jane, we know who you are. Oh my gosh, here we go. Good night, everybody. Love you. God bless. Prayers.